You think about there's a lot of controversy right now around public education and advocating for school choice. And so we have a very rich body of work called the Core Story of Education. And it's really in support of advocates who are advocating for public education. And so when you think about education, we always hear this, and the school system is in crisis. And so the public often thinks that there's no hope, there's no help for this system. And we see that a lot in a lot of the issues that we work on. If you think about the government or even the environment and climate change, like because the problem seems so large and overwhelming that people think that, well, there's nothing we can do about it. And so oftentimes advocates will respond by acknowledging, yes, the system is in crisis. This is why we need reform. This is why we need to fix it. But that's really just opening it up to more criticism. So what we tested was the metaphor of remodeling. So thinking about our education system as like an old house, that the structure is great, it has a really great frame, but it needs to be updated to be useful for today. And so when you think about public education, it's the same sort of thing, that the system itself has a lot of potential. Like, it's not something that we should completely do away with. It's core to our democracy. So what really needs to happen is that we need to remodel education so that it is updated for the needs of students and learners today. And that gets people in the vein of thinking about reform as necessary, but also that there are solutions out there that are feasible, that like all is not lost. And so in the back end, sort of how that works when coming up with that metaphor is really often sitting in a room among our researchers and having, like, if you think about an ad agency having a creative brainstorm, it works for us similarly. And we kind of decide which metaphors to go with, and then we go out and test them. So testing includes on the street interviews, getting a sense of like, how do people understand the issue first, and then getting them, explaining this metaphor and getting them to sort of like test it out themselves by speaking to it. And then also we have a few other tests that we go through to make sure to see how well it connects with the public. Like in some cases, it really is like we'll go to a particular city or town and just grab people for like 10 minutes of their time. I don't know if you've ever been to the mall and someone will ask you to like, will give you $1. They used to do this when I was like growing up, give you $1 to like watch a movie clip. And so we have our Starbucks gift cards. And we give more than $1. Usually I think about $10, and just take a few moments of people's time. Then we also will do something that's similar to a focus group, but we call them peer discourse sessions. So people will sit in a group, like a small group, and talk about the issues with the facilitator, and then come back and work through those metaphors to see how it helps them understand the issue.